Scientifically, currently there is research going on, so I cannot speak about something that has not yet been conclusively proven. But empirically, observation shows that it definitely has an impact on the brain. In that, we know today that thought is essentially an electrical impulse that is moving through the brain. And whenever people have an insight, a major insight, it is possible that these neurological connections are shifting. They're forming a new neural network through which energy is flowing, through which thought energy is flowing. We have seen sometimes that after one has received a oneness experience, the perception changes. Very often, even if they have not heard a teaching, even if they've heard nothing, there's a perceptual shift. And we've also seen that when people receive the oneness experience, the way they experience themselves is changing. That makes us believe that there is something happening in the brain. Emotionally, it helps you bring greater awareness. Usually after receiving the oneness blessing or the oneness experience, there are a couple of very strange possibilities that can happen. Some people get cured of a headache. Some develop a headache. So, some people's conflicts are resolved. For some people, a conflict that is in the unconscious comes to the surface. It comes to the surface, so you begin to see with greater clarity your own internal dialogue, the process that is happening within you. And sometimes it can also help you get so focused on the emotion that the emotion can flower and dissolve. So anything is possible. We have seen innumerable number of possibilities happen on receiving the oneness experience. But we cannot exactly determine what the factors are that lead to that particular experience in the individual. The Living in Oneness is a spiritual program, and it will be very beneficial here to understand that being spiritual is not the same as being religious. Being religious might entail some kind of belief. Either there is either belief in a God or a belief in a particular system of thinking. Which is what we could call religion. If one may use the word as it is presently being used. Spirituality may not have anything to do with believing, because spirituality is the ability for observation, for observing oneself, for observing life, an observation that is non-divisive. So if anybody, any individual, can observe, not observe with the intention of arriving somewhere, but observe whatever is happening and be totally present to that observation without judging it, you can call that person spiritual. So a student can be spiritual in that sense. A scientist can be. a business person can be, a priest can be, anybody can be. Fundamentally, people have not changed. Why 20 years? Even in 20,000 years, the same emotions seem to be flowing through the human psyche. Fear, hurt, pain. So in that sense, the issues that I've been dealing with over the past 20 years have not been different. And working with relationships has not been different either. There's also a transition that is happening right now. I have noticed that over the past 20 years, generally, people have been becoming more and more aware. The level of awareness somehow seems to be rising. And what would have been an issue that people did not know 20 years ago somehow seems to be in the field, in the general human field of consciousness today. A person who doesn't seem to have read much or also seems to be somehow aware of these things. So there is a great transition happening right now, and it is beautiful. Whether it is the present economic collapse that we are witnessing or the environmental crises, anything, I think it is all pointing out to a new emergence. The possibility of living with a new consciousness, the possibility of creating a new kind of science, a new kind of approach to nature, a new kind of approach to what we call pleasure, to pain, and to each other. A whole deal of beauty is unfolding currently. And the pain we are seeing right now is like the process of birthing, the birth pangs of a new emerging future. The birth pangs might be beautiful, might be painful, but what is to come is definitely beautiful.